Okay. Let's see. So, is there any games in your match history in particular that you think are like good ones to learn from, or like, do you remember any of the
Um,
games?
Probably the 13, 8, and 7 Lucian. Because I'm
What's
like a
up?
Lucian, pretty much trying to. Yeah, that one's probably the.
Lucian Connoisseur. Okay, we love to hear it.
I got hard carried that game.
All right, yeah. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, hard carried. We got 13 kills. Okay, we'll see what
Oh, but
happens.
the Kazakhs just running around demolishing everyone.
Is there anything in particular you feel like you really struggle at, or you just think it's like everything?
I just get um I don't understand because like if I go for like a three wave crash or something
Hmm.
and then it crashes and then I don't know if I harass them under tower or because then if I don't then they just get free CS.
Hmm.
So I never know what to do. Or just like in general, just like if you when you crash a wave under their tower, if you just like harass them or you go do something or
Yeah, yeah. It's like for a few reasons. So the first thing is that like one, obviously you get to deny quite a bit before the waves actually crash. Like before the waves crash, you should have like level 2 to level 1. You have like level 3 to level 2, and you have like a minion advantage the whole time. So normally that means that on the way in you can harass a lot, and then once it actually crashes, like it depends on the champ that you're against. Like if you can actually harass them on a tower and what jungler they have, because like if it's really scary to be up really far in the lane, then you probably can't harass them much on a tower. So generally use that time to like ward or do something, but we'll see what you do anyway. But then after it crashes, like it'll bounce back to you, and that's again where you can like really look to deny. So we'll see kind of
yeah, I
what
don't do
happens.
that either. When it bounces back, I look for Q on minions and then
Mm,
I end up just pushing it the whole time. Like
yeah,
I never
okay.
actually I feel like I can't like relax and let it push into me.
Okay. Everything's looking good so far. Think you're maybe
Nope.
pushing it a bit fast because like okay, the problem with it being pushed this fast is that like when you hit level 2 you're not really in a position to harass him for it. Like okay, right now you're in like a pretty good spot because like you if you order this creep down a little bit or you order one of these down, you're gonna have like a 1 minion advantage and it's gonna push quite slowly. So I'd say like right now the wave's in like a pretty nice spot. Even now it's still quite nice, but like now that you're putting more and more orders on the creeps, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, the wave is now in a spot where even if you hit level 2, you can't really E into him. I mean, the tower shot honestly doesn't really matter because he can never kill you anyway, but like, yeah, you'd like want to do this, but to be honest, he doesn't need to take that damage at all, like not with the wave. But either way, it's like, okay, you've crashed it, and I think it's pretty good. Like, right, it could be a little bit better, but for the most part, it's really good.
Yeah, I did
Now,
try and go for three wave there and then I ended up just pushing it too fast and I didn't
yeah,
know why. Now I do, but yeah.
yeah,
Because
and
they're only versing a Yi, and I'm not really scared of a Yi early.
yeah. Here, I think you probably should just go ward right now because it's like if you look, there's not unless you have your Q up, there's not much you can do to him under tower. And I think it probably would
Yeah,
have been
true.
better to like drop your ward now because like well, you need to I guess versus Yi and Corki, it's like in theory you can get away with not warding, but it's like a good habit to ward at 2 minutes 30. So again,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
it's
pretty sure
like
I died to an early gank as well.
oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, super top
Oh,
side.
that was a bad one.
No, it's a good ward, I think. Nice. It's a good ward because like Yi started bot side, right? So he's either doing 3 camps bot into like ganking you from here. So if you ward here and like hug this area, you're fine. Or if he does this side and comes here, then you see him on the ward. The only thing is like maybe your ward
It
could be a
should
bit
be
further
further
out.
up.
But
Yeah,
like,
that's like yeah, that should be in between those two, right?
well, it could just be a tiny bit up just in
Like
case he
yeah,
walks through here. But like, I think that's gonna work like 99% of the time. So it's good enough for me. Then yeah, the wave comes out in the middle, so you get a really nice punish. Okay, get a solo kill. And I think, let's see what happened after. I think this is just,
the top
yeah,
side.
yeah, it looks like you're just hugging to the wrong side. Because, like, if you're, well, even
I think
now,
I just
you have, well, he'll flash Q you, right? And you don't
I
have,
think I was just like, I'm just gonna get the minions because I
yeah.
was like pretty sure I was dead.
I think at this point, you're still fine. If you start moving up as soon as he shows here,
I
you
could have actually
live.
got
But,
away
like,
instead
yeah,
of
if
greeting for the
by this
minions.
point, I think you're probably dead to his flash Q. Although you could have made him actually flash for it rather than just, like, let him walk up and kill you.
Yeah.
But it's not the worst death in the world. You don't really fall that far behind off it. Punished. Oh, I should close this. It's easier to see. Yeah, so like you can harass like right here, but I think now you should probably let the wave come back out a bit, just because it's like the only way you can really harass him here is by poking him under tower. But if the wave ever comes up to the middle of the lane, there's pretty much no way he can even play the game before level 6, because the only thing he can farm with really is Q.
Yeah. Should just let it come to me.
Yeah, like the thing is, you can like we go back here. Like, okay, if you fast crash this wave, like you just auto it a bunch, it crashes. So then it crashes a bit earlier rather than like awkwardly freezing outside his tower. Because like you sort
Yeah.
of have to push this one because it's already gonna push anyway, but it's because you pushed the last wave too slow. So you kind of have to push this one as well, actually, because of the way you did that. Oh yeah, okay. It's just the same thing. It's just like permanently frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of bad
I
because
think
like
this is
ideally,
every game,
like the
pretty much.
way you kind of, if you're against a champ that's so weak that they can't farm at all if it's in the middle, rather than like queuing them through the creeps, you literally just E towards them and queue them, you know, because there's like no possible way he can trade back.
It doesn't hit the. Yeah, I get you.
This ward's pretty bad because it's not really going to tell you anything, and also you're so far ahead that like you could ward here or something.
A deeper ward, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so like right now, if you let this wave come to you, there should be pretty much nothing he can do. Like if the wave is in the center here.
Too aggro.
Even queuing is fine, as long as you then don't push afterwards, because it's like, okay, if you queue the wave will eventually push in, right? But if you
Yeah.
can, like, even if these creeps are half HP, if they can be half HP here, he still has to walk quite far up. But the problem is that, like, you've
Now I'm hitting
killed a
it.
full creep before they've even, like, met, so he knows that, okay, he doesn't need to walk up anytime soon, because, like, this wave is gonna push to him, like, real soon. Again, it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's not the biggest deal in the world because you're still getting a lot of harass off, right? But it's you could probably have a bigger lead. This is pretty bad though, like hugging away from your
Yeah.
ward.
Yeah, I die here as well.
Ooh. I think you could have got out if you didn't greed the extra auto, right? Let's see.
I
I think like right here, it's looking good. You're about to have your E. Okay, he flashes. Yeah, I think right here, if you didn't turn to auto attack, yeah,
was out.
you probably would have got out. But it's like, yeah, the biggest problem is just hugging away from your ward because Yi's not the strongest ganking jungler, and there will be other junglers that, you know,
Destroy me.
won't have any trouble killing you. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, I think the hugging towards is really important because you do just naturally have to play really aggressive as Lucian because there's not really anything else you can do, right? So
Yeah.
if you hug to the wrong place consistently and like fall behind, it makes the game quite hard for yourself. Now here, you should definitely not unfreeze this. Like right now, it's so fucked for Corki. Like he has to bait, right? There's no way he can stay around to do anything here. If you just hold this wave, like you can thin it out a little so that it doesn't crash, but like you just want these to deny like this full wave and then maybe some of the next wave. And then he still comes back to lane with no flash. And it's like, you just EW ult him and you probably kill him. But it
Yeah.
looks like you're gonna... Well, let's
Push
see.
it. That's
Well,
all
let's
I do
see.
is perma push, really.
I respect that. It's pretty alpha. Okay, well this is like good. I think if you hadn't thinned it so much, you could have denied more. But like this is good, in my opinion. It is
I
gonna
think
crash
I
now,
I think I
though.
remember it now. I smacked it, and then I realized that I shouldn't have after.
Hmm. Oh my god, that's scary. Why is he here?
I think she was getting destroyed by my duo. The poppy.
Hmm. What the fuck is this? Another day in mid lane?
Silver. I think I've been stuck in silver for like 6 years.
Rough. You get him right? Yep.
Oh, this is funny.
I think even if you died, honestly, you could be pretty happy with that, because like Riven wasted so much time. Okay, so another really good punish. That was nice. You get all this wave. Game is looking pretty good. Shove another wave. Instantly base. Okay, everything's looking really good.
Should I go into drag there? No, it doesn't matter.
Well, let's go back. I wasn't even watching, so. I don't think you really add anything by being a drag. You've like no ult and no mana and no HP, so even if like your team sort of needs you at drag, it would be like you'd have to backping them because you're so useless right now. You're just a free reset for Yi pretty much. Yeah, you see walk top, that's smart. I assume you communicated that with your duo.
Yeah, they swapped the Riven Corki.
Push this in. Okay,
Swap back.
that's all really good. Oh, he took the scuttle. Very alpha.
We're going to go take his blue. Happy.
That guy's super fucking dead. Nice. Okay. Everything is looking good. I think, like, now at this point in the lane, there is no point for anything, right? Like, it's so far in the lane, Corki can farm now, and, like, there's way more to do on the map. I just want to make that obvious, because sometimes people, like, they think because you can freeze at some points of the game that you should just freeze, like, at all points in the game. But the biggest difference now is that, like, one, Corki can farm from range with his rockets, and two, it's like, with your priority, you can actually do meaningful stuff, like, roam to other lanes, or, like, take camps, or hit tower plates, whereas, like, especially in the first like 6 or so minutes, you can't really do any of that. So freezing is really OP in the very early games, but then after that, it loses a lot of its value.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
How much gold do you have? 14.
Oh, I shouldn't have based that.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't base it. It's like, it's
Full health,
tempting.
double buffed.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
I think I have my Kraken here. I go Kraken Slayer, not Gale Force.
It's definitely like you want to obviously base when you have item, but it's like basing with full resources is pretty useless. It just means you can't really pressure the map for a really long time. And I think like
I go Rift there.
well, I think you probably just like
What,
maybe
lights?
come ward this or try to take these. Are these actually up?
Oh, the Raptors, yeah.
Why can I? Oh right, fog war. Yeah, so I think like you can use your priority to either play towards your jungler or take raptors or something. Just like yeah, basing with full resources is pretty meh. Okay, connect lane. When you have ult, you can probably kill him. Good pink. This is like sort of a bad roam in my opinion. Because it's like, okay. So, when you roam, ideally, you roam before this wave here passes this
It's
tier
past
3
3.
tower. Yeah. And the thing is, like, if you do this roam, it's more because, like, you can't get priority. You know, like, you're taking a riskier roam. And this is, like, the type of roam a champ like Kiana or Katarina might do, because they don't normally get priority on the wave. If you're playing Lucian, like, you don't need to take any, you know, any inefficient roams. Like, you have so much control over mid that you can literally just, like, if you want to make this play, you push the wave, like, starting from here. Like, you stand here, push this wave, and then you run down. And also, there is so much other gold you can get right here. It's like, this plate, 160 gold
Almost.
is one auto,
Yeah.
and there's another 100 gold right here that you haven't looked at, like, the entire game. So, even if you come down here and get a kill, well, like, it's nice, right? But you could have got the exact same amount of gold for no risk at all.
And that would have been more consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here, you should just push. You could maybe kill Corki. Does he have flash? Yeah, he has flash. Oh my god, you do a lot of fucking damage. Nice. Okay. I think you can be greedy and stay and get a plate. Oh wait, the plate already died. Okay. Base. Okay, everything's looking good so far. So you went Ninja Tabi. I guess it's actually pretty decent this game. They're like basically all auto attackers.
I never go. I don't think I've ever built Berserker Greaves.
Oh really?
It's always Mercs or Tabbies.
Now this is pretty greedy. It's just because like the main reason is that like okay, if you look at kind of like your teammates' positions right now, it's like your bot lane is stuck under tower. And your top side are the ones that are kind of like strong side right now. Like they're the ones that are making a
And
play
I'm
here.
going bot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's
right.
like you're walking towards your weak side. Like generally the weak side strong side concept is pretty much it's just like wherever your jungler is strong side because that's like generally where you have more members of the map. But like you could make this play here if your bot lane was shoved all the way up here because that means that like there's a
They
really
can
low
roam it.
chance anyone comes here. But the problem is basically you're walking to the weakest possible point of the map, like a bot lane that's shoved on the tower, away from your team that's kind of pushing in, and then yeah, maybe you get away with this if they have no vision, but it's just complete luck, pretty much, at this point, if
I
you get
don't.
away
I
with
don't
it.
think I do. I think I die here. So I'm pretty sure I do. I think I target the Thresh as well. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, actually, yeah, it's a pretty bad death. I was gonna say
Yeah,
it's
I
not
should
that
have went
bad, but
top.
it
Yeah.
is actually a pretty bad death. Corki got a lot from that. Okay, back on the map.
Should I have swapped with top?
Well, ideally you swap with bot, like bot goes
Oh,
mid.
because their tower's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, but if like the main thing is just to keep farming, so if bot lane comes mid, then you go to a side, but if bot lane's not moving, then you just stay where you are. Okay, so now bot lane's mid, I'd probably run straight bot here. I don't think you really want to 5-man the lane.
I think
Okay,
yeah,
nice.
Kaiser and I were like.
Yeah, no, that's good. Good choice by you. Okay, he's shoving. This is looking all good. You need your prior to come mid. Walking this way is pretty scary though. Maybe it's fine. Oh no. Oh my god, that guy's in there. Oh, I think... Well, okay, first, I think it is a little greedy to walk this way in my opinion, like... Yeah, I would say you should
Yeah, that
probably
far, they
walk
can
this
walk
way
down.
because it's just like, if these guys realize that you're literally walking up like 1v3, I think they could probably kill you, especially with like Riven having flash and you not. So I think the way you walked was quite greedy, but they didn't really recognize. Then I think the next thing is, you really need to think about like what the kind of like key cooldowns or like key threats are in the fight, because in my opinion, the only person that does damage to you is Riven, and then the only person that really like CCs you is Thresh. So like, if you literally just like save your E for whenever he's hooking. Like, okay, here you can easily dodge hook with E, like, because you can E while you're ulting.
Yeah.
I think after that, they have, like, literally no threat on you at all. Then
Yeah,
this honestly is... It's honestly fine. Like, right now, I think you're actually good, right? It's just, like... And even now, I think you can kill this Tristana if you auto him instead of the creeps. Well, maybe not. That was a bit greedy. Die. I suppose bot, so you come mid, which is fine. Have this all in. Take the raptors. Here you should definitely like think about walking bot afterwards though. So like Kaiser's mid now, Poppy's top. So you probably want to get to this bot wave here. Especially because Baron's, I mean not Baron, Dragon's spawning
Dragon.
soon. So if you can shove this wave, it gives you a lot of control over this area for Dragon. So if you're playing in this side, it's like one, you're not getting farm, or you're just like sharing it with Kaiser, as opposed to like getting all the farm down here. And also it's like you don't have great control. Okay, yeah, so now Kaiser's farming this wave when it should probably be yours. So I think you
That's a
both
huge
lost
wave.
quite a bit of CS here, because like, yeah, the assignments were
Yeah.
just quite awkward. So just be like really, really aware, especially as Lucian, about like, making sure you're in a spot where you can get farm. Okay, now here.
Dashing into a 1v3.
Yeah, it's like that as well, but there's also like well, there's two parts of it. It's like one, Corki has package and you're not really respecting, but also it's like, again, like look at your teammates' positions compared to their teammate or their positions. Like this is your vision, right? So you have, again, your Kai'Sa is under tower, your Poppy is like nowhere near. They have people really close to you, and no one is close to you at all. So it's like, you know, you're being super aggressive at a time where it's pretty scary, you know? Like, no one is around to help you. And yeah, it's like, if you respect the Corki package, maybe you wouldn't E in, but it's like, you know, I'm thinking you might just do this even if Corki doesn't have package and then die.
Not even
Yeah.
like a Corki specific thing, just a
Yeah,
basic
exactly.
fundamental.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Okay, yeah, so you walk bot out of base. That's good. You farm all these. Nice to get the Gromp. And all the... Yeah, okay, this is really good. And you can just shove this. I think, you can probably kill this guy. I think. As long as you have EW. Like, W's... I think if you'd had E here, and then, yeah...
Look at like W, WR, and then when he dashes, I E.
Okay, pretty good. And take the red. Yeah, nice. Kai'Sa's not mid, so you can farm mid. Probably kill that guy as well. Use all his sums. Okay, nice, and big shutdown. And you can farm this. And the Raptors, okay, I mean, your CS thing is pretty good for the most part. That's good.
Based on full, I think I got a full item of that either.
Oh wait, let's, yeah, okay, good point. Full HP. Ah, you have 2.3 gold. I'd probably base as well.
Okay, yeah,
Because it's like, okay, it's like, okay, if you stay on the map, like, what pressure can you actually create? Because it looks like, I don't think you can really push this wave, because again, it's like, everyone's kind of not really in pressuring positions. I guess you could farm red and base. Like, that's really the only other thing you could do, is like, farm red then base, because there's just nothing to pressure right now. Like, are you going to run all the way to this wave? Like, probably not. So I think it's actually a pretty good base. Come back on the map. Kill this guy. I think it's fine to share farm mid at the moment, because again, like, this top wave's far away. There's probably Poppy that should be bought now. So, like, for now, sharing this wave is fine, but probably not for too long. Why can't I click
Yeah, that's
on
what
you?
I
Oh,
don't. Sometimes I think I side lane too much. I mean, this game not so bad, but like I just sit, especially if the team's losing.
yeah. Yeah, in general, you
I
just,
try
like,
to
want to try and push, like, to the tower and then, like, farm any camps. And if there's nothing to farm, you can just group after that. But, you know, maybe we'll see another game and check.
Yeah, we should go to get a game where I get shit on. Also, I don't know who to play secondary as well, like my secondary champ.
In
That's
mid
why I
or
have
in
so
another
many
role, you mean?
in mid, yeah. I want an AP, I just don't know who. I tried playing Kai'Sa, but I suck at Kai'Sa.
Well, I think, like, depends how confident you are, but I think, like, the most similar champ to Lucian mid is, like, Cassio, probably.
And she's
Like,
strong.
yeah, she's pretty strong, especially on the new patch. She is, like... Well, I don't know, Lucian's pretty hard,
I think
too,
my
so...
mechanics are that.
Well, I think Lucian is pretty hard mechanically. Okay, now what happened all the way in here? So we had some weird lane assignments again. So, okay, after this, you should probably walk top, I think, because there's like a wave. Like, now this wave is going to be in position to farm. So you stay mid, but you and Poppy are just like sharing farm while you're losing this top wave. So either you can go top here or Poppy can go top here, but someone needs to come like answer this wave. And actually, it would be better if you go to this sooner, because it's ideal if you can push this out and then walk down to drag. But if you have to walk up to this when drag is spawning, then it's really bad, right? Yeah, because it's like now you're... I mean, you guys get the kill, but you're on like the opposite side of the map when dragon's spawning, so you kind of lose this for free. So the good kind of rule is that you really want to... You want to like be at dragon like a minute before it spawns. So what's the timer on drag right now? It's like a minute 19, so ideally you would have been up here like 30 seconds before. Push this wave a bit, and then just like run down to drag. But yeah, instead the way it ended up is that dragon's, what, like 30 seconds from spawning and you're walking up here?
And you're walking the wrong way.
Yeah, so it's just macro-wise kind of cooked. And then here out of base as well, I think here you can just run top again. Like Kai'Sa's farming mid, the bot wave is too far away, but you could probably walk to this top wave unless you feel unsafe. Like I think you have enough control and like your jungle's here, but if you did feel unsafe, you could come mid first, but you don't want to stay mid. Like you definitely don't want to stay mid while this wave just like comes in and nothing happens.
Sharing it.
Yeah, it's like again, no one's pushing the top wave. Everyone's just AFK farming mid. Okay, back top. Like this is okay because like you should feel scared here. Like once your jungle bases, this becomes scary. But you had him here the whole time. But like now, if you were to push this wave while your jungler's in base, like it's pretty scary, right? So
Yeah,
you need to
do that on purpose either.
yeah, you need to think a lot about like the mid game is just like really hard in my opinion. But you need to think a lot about where people are, especially where your team is, and then also like a reason this sort of happens is because of like how little control you guys have around topside. You know, if this had been pushed all the way in ages ago and then like you had vision in here, they probably couldn't do this, but it's just quite scary for you guys to even go in this area pretty much at all. So they just like do Baron. Okay. Just stay mid. Just put it on 8 times for a while. Get some good farm. Stall out the Baron. Maybe ult there. Okay, it's fine. Good chunk, to be honest.
Literally been sitting mid and for a while now, and the tower's still there.
Yeah, yeah. I think now though you kind of do just have to like farm mids together.
Baron.
Yeah, like it's hard to be efficient when the enemy team gets Baron. You just kind of gotta, you know, just sit there and deal with whatever they throw you, pretty much. Okay, here, at least you're near Dragon when it's coming up soon, so that's good. I think this part's fine.
Really, I saw Riven because she shoved in that whole wave.
Yeah. I mean, it actually looks okay at this point. I actually think you just can't E in here. Like, even if Riven doesn't show up, doesn't Gi just, like, almost kill you here? I'm not sure. But it looks like... Okay, like, one advantage you have as Lucian, right, is that there's actually... You can kite, like, pretty well in teamfights, right? Like, you can go backwards with, like, EWR, you have flash, you have, like, a lot of dashes. And I think the only way you guys can possibly lose this is if you die too early. So I think here... Yeah, I think if you just play on your range with Yuumi, you're actually fine. Like, you just shove this wave and walk in. Because even if Riven doesn't show up here, I think you lose most of your health for this.
Yeah.
And there's also, like, I guess maybe the argument that you're playing kind of far away from Kai'Sa. Like, you could just wait for her to be here, or you could play in this area a bit closer to her. Yeah, just so, like, you know, because, like, okay, if... Let's just say Riven was here somehow. If this exact same situation happens, and you're like right here, Kai'Sa can probably clean them up after doing... What the fuck, where's she going? Okay, well, I would have thought she could clean them up, but, you know, maybe the scuttle grab's more important. Oh, she killed that person. Bot. Keep pushing. Yeah, like, this is really good side laning here. Like, this is what should happen every time before an objective. Like, you're really strong on the side lane. You have your jungler on your side, so you feel really safe. And that means you push out the wave, like, as long as you want, or as far as you want, I mean. And then, like, when you get to this point, you can evaluate, like, what you want to do. Like, okay, if no one's defending, you can hit the tower. If there are people defending, you either take camps, or you just, like, walk to the objective, basically. So, like, but that like, this whole situation that happened here, like, pushing all the way, like, with your jungler to help you pressure, that's all really good. Oh, that sucked.
Oh, I saw them walk. I should have just...
Yeah, I think you can know, like, if you're... Yeah. They're both moving into bot side.
It warped down. It was like a greedy way to walk.
If you
or
walk
followed by
with
Jungle,
Kazakhs, you
followed
might be able
by
to kill
Corki.
them. You know, like if you walk the exact same way as Kazakhs, all three of you are here. If they like ran at you here, you guys could probably kill them. Why are you sliding?
Oh yeah,
Does that look like that in game, or is it just
yeah,
spectator
it
bug?
did look like that in game. Nah, it looked like that in game as well.
That's very weird. Okay, and you guys get Baron. I'll skip ahead to another team fight, I think. That was CS. Nice.
Lucky shit, good.
That guy's a psycho. I'm pretty sure if you just E away, yeah, like you play on your range again, I think you probably live. Let's just see it though.
I remember that.
Also, you missed W on Yi. That's actually like pretty big because the W movement speed is like really, really important for kiting out melee champs. But like if you look here, right, like he W. Oh wait, did it hit him?
Oh, it did?
Oh yeah, it did hit him actually. Yeah, okay.
I fuck, yeah, I do remember fucking this up.
Yeah, right now if you just E up, he's so dead. He'd back into his fucking melee range. Okay, I think this game's pretty much done. Alright, let's get the notepad. So, in my opinion, this game, so what was this? I'll just put game on. I think you are making a lot of good plays, but you're also, like, you're just giving so much back every time. So, in the early game, like, the wave control could help you, like, extend your lead more, but to be honest, like, getting a lead, at least from this game, wasn't really your problem. Like, I think the hugging slash warding is, like, a really, really big thing. So, like, hugging towards safe side slash wards, because yeah, it's like for every kill you get, you're just like giving one back to the enemy team from doing something like really greedy. I think also like after 6, your prior usage could be better, like farm camp slash deeper wards. Like if you're playing a champion that has as much control over the lane as Lucian does, you can afford to get like a bit more than you are, you know? Or tower plates can be another one. But a lot of the time after 6, it's like you seem to, unless you can kill your opponent, you're not really pressuring him. You know, it's like, or rather, you don't pressure anything else except killing your opponent. Like, you don't hit the tower plates, you don't take camps, you don't deep ward, and you're not really like denying him 1v1 either. So it's like, what's happening is that after like level 6, like, unless again you can like 100 to 0 him, you just like crash a wave and then you don't really like do anything with it. So obviously that kind of, it just doesn't really accelerate you, obviously, as opposed to when you like easily can. And then in the mid game, there's like a lot of things. So the first is like I'd say I'll say like lane assignments, just like knowing which lane you should go to. Like try maximize your farm for a start. Like don't share with anyone if you can. Like to be honest, the ideal is that like the bot lane goes mid and then both the side lanes are on the sides. But it's like, you know, that's only optimal because of like high level play, I guess. Like in low elo, all that matters is making sure that everyone on the team is actually getting gold and nothing else really matters beyond that. Yeah. So your lane assignments can be better. Your farming is quite good. I think your mid game like macro can improve a little bit. I don't think this needs to improve much, but I think like the main things you need to think about is like, okay, being at dragon like 1 minute slash 30 seconds before, like the way solo queue works is it pretty much always, even in really high ranks, it just comes down to a 5v5 on an objective. So it's really important that you actually are at the objective like a minute or 30 seconds before. And then if you want to make it like higher level, it's like try push out the side wave like 2 mins to like 1 min 130 before the objective, because that way like they have to deal with the wave. Yeah, there's that. And then if you want to make your like mid-game macro higher level, it's like also consider your teammates slash enemy teams positions. Um, like yeah, I guess like so you don't die on side lane. So like there's a lot of things here, and I'd say some of it is like you know you don't need to do this to get out of silver, but I think this one here, this is like the biggest thing because you know even though you're sharing farm with Kaiser and stuff, it's like you guys still way out farm your opponents. But the problem was like you gave up a lot of drags just like because you weren't there.
Yeah.
Um, so like that's a really big one. This is like a bit higher level, like the lane assignments. If you know, if you can get optimal lane assignments, it's good, but just like making sure you're not sharing with anyone is best. And then like if you find that you get quite good at like making these into a habit, you know, then if you can like make it a bit higher level with like pushing out the side lane before, and then finally like, well, to be honest, if you try and do this, you'll probably notice that sometimes you're gonna die on side lane, and then that's when you really need to like start thinking about your teammates like
Jungle
positions and
and
stuff.
stuff. Yeah.
It's finally like team fightings, team fights. I think there's like a couple things. So it's like identify like threats slash key cooldowns. So you can think about like the Riven as like the important person to like kill you, or the Yi, and then like what kind of like this game they don't have much CC, right? It's really just Thresh Hook, but like you know in other comps there might be a lot more than that, and that's pretty important. And then I think also it's like somebody put don't get impatient, because the thing is it's really tempting to just like E in on Lucian and just like WR someone and just like cull them down, right? But the thing is you're playing a DPS champ, so it's like if you can get a free kill by doing that, it's really good. But ultimately you're not like you're not a champ that just like blows all their cooldowns and then if they die after that it doesn't matter because they've used everything. It's like the longer you're alive, the more damage you deal. So it's you really need to like not get impatient and just like play on your range, like play towards your team, stuff like that. Because basically what's happening at every stage in the game is like early game you're building a lead over your opponent, you're getting solo kills, and then because you don't hug and ward correctly you give a ton of gold back. And then in the mid game it's like you know, you're farming a lot of camps, you're still getting a lot of gold, but then because you're not at the dragon, it doesn't really matter. Again, you kind of like give that pressure right back. And then when it actually comes to the team fights, when you're actually there, it doesn't really matter how fed you are because you just kind of like, you know, you int too early and you make it really easy for them. So what happens is that like, let's say, let's say you didn't do all the bad plays that you did this game, just you're taking advantage of your opponent and like farming and stuff. You might be at like a platinum level, but then the problem is that you give so much back that it just like drags you all the way back down, you know?
Yeah.
So there is like a lot of really good stuff about your play actually. Like I'm pretty impressed with your CS thing for silver, honestly. It's quite good. But then like yeah, if you just kind of like fix a lot of the mistakes, that'll be a lot easier. Is there any questions about any of this stuff?
Um. No, that's all. That all makes sense.
All
It's
right,
all good.
we can go to a second game. Just look through it a bit quicker.
Just get through one where my bro, I play really shit.
All right,
Probably that 5-11 game. That's pretty bad.
5-11. Did I
Like
skip it?
the third game down.
Ah, this one.
Yeah. Yeah. I noticed that if I do if I'm doing okay, then I can pretty much do good. But if I start doing bad, then I play like shit the whole game.
Okay, that's kind of
Do you
interesting
think it's
because
just
it
tilt?
could be that, like you think it's tilt, or you think you just don't really adapt to being behind.
Or that probably it's probably
Hmm.
that.
Okay. Well, let's have a look. So, also, do you always start Doran's Blade, or is it just like these matchups? Because I would say that like if you're in an easy matchup like Ari or Corki, you can get away with Doran's Blade, but there's like a lot of the you know the more even or difficult matchups. You should probably have Corrupting Pot. So, do you
It's
always
nice
start
farm
this or?
corrupting pot.
Okay.
Sometimes I go I used to go longsword when before the durability patches and I could get collector.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
like just Turk quicker, but I don't know if that's still good now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't played Lucian since the new patch, but yeah. I think again, wave
Push.
pushed quite a bit too early or too fast rather, because like you know it's okay to put a couple orders on this, queuing through the ranged, absolutely fine. Like this, you know, right now, it's not going to push significantly faster than if it would otherwise. It's like pretty much fine. The problem is here when you really start like spam autoing, and then you're like, yeah, you're lining up like 5 or 4 creeps for the Q, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, now it's just pushing super fast. And Arya is not a champ that you can harass under tower, especially after level 2, because once she has charm, it's like if you're here and you get hit by it, you just die. So it's like really scary, especially after level 2 for you to kind of like play like that. And then again, it's like you don't really have the level 2 advantage and like the space to use it because you're just, well, no. Actually, you do have enough space to use it, but you didn't get your level 2 advantage like early enough to really push it. So you should, honestly, one thing I would recommend, if you're not sure like exactly what I mean, I would literally just look up like a Lucian versus, I don't know, whatever matchup and just like watch the first 3 waves and just like pay really close attention to that because I think there's like a lot more you could do with like your wave, but your trading is good, so I mean that's nice, right? Like, okay, here, you don't need to hard shove this, I would say. Like, okay, right now, it's actually in a pretty good spot. Like, you're in a pretty pressuring position. As you can see, like, if he walks up to Q these creeps, then you can look to E into him, right? So, like, where you are now, if you literally just save your Q for when he comes up to CS, you're in such a good spot. Like, yeah, right now, this is all really good.
Just too impatient, really.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so now his Q's on cooldown. If he walks up, okay, good punish, good punish. Also, again, I'll say that maybe it's not a problem this game because they have Kayn, another weak jungler, but like 2:30 is really your ideal kind of warding time.
Waiting time.
Yeah, because it's like, that's the kind of time where if you're versus like, not the super early gankers, like, you know, Rek'Sai, I guess, could gank you before them, but, you know, just the typical jungler will be in this area, like, or could look for a gank at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, everything, I mean, it's like, again, you've got your big lead, so now we'll just see when you start giving it back. Good
Yes, yeah, that's
bang.
what I mean. How I said I always trade, and I don't like let. I just can't let because I feel like the wave definitely would have pushed back to me then, and I just like can't let it.
Yeah,
I
well, it's like,
always just spam you
yeah,
through.
well, even now, because, like, you crashed and base, like, this is a really good spot for you. Like, you can see the wave is in such a good spot. Like,
I can
here,
freeze that.
I wouldn't even queue it. I'd literally just I'd auto that cannon, and then I'd pull the wave, like, all the way up to, like, here or something, and then it's like, okay, Ari can't farm, ever. So, okay, yeah, good, 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 good. Like, you could have left maybe one more creep alive, but it's still going to push to you. So this is, like, really, really nice. As long as you don't unfreeze it. Yeah, like, see, she can't play the game right now. Okay, now here's like there's like a uh two-step process to like punishing people in this situation. So if you're far enough ahead that you're like, okay, actually it's like 3 steps. So the first step is that like if you're stronger than your opponent, you can force them to use spells to CS, right? Because it's like if they walk up, they know they're going to take too much damage, so that's why they're forced to use like a spell. So if they're forced to use a spell, so like you've done the first part, you're stronger. You've done the second part, you've forced them to use a spell, but then the last part that you're really like cashing in on is you need to then punish the fact that they don't have the abilities. So it's like right here, the only thing Ari has is charm. Yeah, like, you can dash into her. Okay, you should have done it earlier, before she had Q back up, but it's like, you know, right now, right here, it's like you should be, like, a little bit further up, and then once she uses these, even if she charms you, it doesn't matter, because she's used all her abilities, so you can just trade on her really aggressively, but even this is fine, right? Like, you can afford to trade even HP with Ari, because again, you're going to kill her before she kills you. And like she lost creeps for it, so all this is actually quite good. It's again, could be a little better, but to be honest, your laning is pretty good. So, okay, use a spell. You used Q, so you can't really look to punish. That's a bit scary. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so you got a lot of value out of the wave being in this spot, but you did take a bit too much damage. I think that charm mainly was the bad part, so it's like... You do just need to be quite careful of, like, this sort of situation, I guess. Like, you need to just remember to react with E if she just, like, throws charm out. Because if you just like match E to E, it's like even though the cooldown is much longer, it's like she can't really do anything while Charm's on cooldown. Like you can move into her and she can't do anything about it. But like if you lose all this HP, it becomes quite hard to pressure the lane. And like yeah, now there's sort of hard for you to play. Are you alive?
No, I don't.
So I think where is the real problem? Like where did you lose all your HP? It's like right now, this is okay. You didn't lose that much. And then yeah, I guess there you lost like another ton of health. But even here, I don't think you're gonna die. Yeah, okay. Actually, here's the problem. So it's like if you do end up like really behind an HP like this, you have like two options. You can either instantly base and just come back on the map because like it's a cannon wave, right? So it's like sort of hard for her to push it. But if you are staying on the map with this HP, you can't really push. Like I think the reason you're pushing is because you're gonna get level 6. But like this is the problem is that like, you're just like so far up in the lane that it's really easy for her to all in you. Maybe if
I
you
think I was thinking I couldn't see her, so I just wanted to shove. I was
yeah.
worried I was shoving base.
Yeah, it's scary. I think maybe, to be honest, after you've taken this damage, you might just have to base right now. It's like, it sucks, but you're still really far ahead, right? Like, even if she crashes this... No, you won't lose the wave, I don't think. I think you can... If you instantly base, like, you clear... If you, like, started your base now, I think you could get back to lane before she shoves it in. Before she, like, okay, you might lose the cannon, but you should get the rest of them. And you'd still be really far ahead. And to be honest, I actually think you might be able to live here. I think if when she had flashed into you, you would instantly flash to the other side of these minions so that you didn't get charmed. You can probably win, but it's like, now we're making it about like really high execution. Whereas like, well, the biggest things were one that you just took that like random charm for free, and then I guess that you didn't really like adapt and base or either like play safer kind of as a result.
So I think I always try and crash. Like I'll be on like 2 HP and I'll still try and crash the wave.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get away with it, it's definitely good, right? But obviously if you die, it's really bad. Okay, now you pinked drag, but I think it's sort of bad in my opinion. I think just pinking this bush is normally better, just because it's like, this generally gives you more control. Like the pink on Baron, it doesn't actually give you much control. All it does is like allow your jungler to do dragon. But to be honest, first dragon is almost meaningless. Like once you get dragons up to like 3 or 4, and so you start, well, up to 3 I guess, and you start having like pressure of like a soul, then it has like value. But before then, pretty much anything else is more valuable. So if you can create like, better river control with your pink or whatever, there's lots of other things you can do. Close. Now, what happened? So, okay, so she used her spell. You baited out her charm. W. I think the problem here is that you didn't W. I actually think you might have been able to kill her. So it should be...
I didn't put my W at all.
Yeah, the way... Obviously, if you can, like, what's the word? Like, weave in orders between every ability, like, that's best. But I think, like, the ideal here would be like E, auto, and then, yeah, maybe W, auto, Q, auto if you can. But like, you really want to make sure even now you could still W. You could W and then ult. Like, you just want to get W on your opponent before you ult. Because like, you get so much extra movement speed. I'm not sure you could have killed her if she just like dashed all the way back, but I think with the movement speed, you'd be able to get away from the Kayn probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I think, possibly if your wards are placed better. So it's like, this ward, it's a decent ward, but like you could have the pink to kind of control this area and then ward further up here. And I think that would have told you that Kayn's... Oh, well, actually he came to the wall. Maybe it wouldn't have told you. Yeah, actually maybe you still die.
I think that I do that a lot. Now that you say, I always try and use my W to get autos, and I can never like adapt and not. Yeah. Does that make sense? Like, yeah.
Nice.
Like, I see some Lucians that they're like WE and then double auto.
Yeah. Lots of people do that as well.
I never do that. I Like
Yeah,
my
because
brain
it
can't
feels
do
really
that.
smooth, like using WE.
I think it's gonna start getting scared of it.
This is like the same thing again, though. It's like, if you just look at the situation you're in, it's like, you have played the lane well enough that you've built up like a 20 CS lead, right? But the problem is that you just like gave up a lot for free. It's like, you got really greedy, I would say. And then like you made the mistake around the charms. That's like while she got her first kill on you. And then the second kill, I mean, the second kill is more understandable. And it's somewhat a punish of like you not having flash, you know, like being a no
Playing so
flash
far up.
Lucian, you're probably gonna die eventually, right? Like you're just really, really gankable. Maybe if you'd used your W better, you would have lived, but space, yeah. Let's just go through the rest of this on kind of fast speed and see if there's any big things.
Again.
Yeah, you like pinking those objectives, but yeah, it's just not really how you should use your ward normally. If you're against especially if you're, okay, it's like again, maybe because you're versus Kane, it doesn't matter, but I don't think you did it because you're versus Kane. You just do it,
No, I
right?
didn't. I
Yeah.
just do it. Yeah.
You, nice flash. You guys can probably kill her, right? Oh, not quite. Oh, I know you are gonna kill her. Any other tower, nice. Okay, yeah, the game's like, you're probably ahead in gold, right? Yeah, you're up almost 500 gold on her. That's insane. Okay, nice. Yeah, you're in a really good spot. Up 30 CS. You got to kill your Kraken Slayer. I probably would go Gale Force this game, by the way. Like, I don't know if you always go Kraken,
I
but
like Gale. I suck at Gale Force. Like I don't know why. I play like shit when I have Gale Force.
you
I
find you
think
just
it's a
like
bit of
in too
attack
much with
speed
it,
maybe,
or
or yeah.
okay.
I just lose. So
Because
I
like
know
having
Kraken
the
Slayer is
extra
good
dash
enough.
to avoid stuff like Charm is really valuable.
Yeah, they'll have a full squishy team and I'll still go Kraken Slayer. Just I probably should just learn how to play with Gale Force.
Yeah, I mean, you can even like make it a rule for yourself while you're using it, just like to knock Gale Force forward and just only use it defensively. But obviously, it's not really how it should be used. But this is a good roam, I think. Oh, I can't see.
Yeah, I fuck up here though. I do remember this.
Oh my god, Sirac silence. Okay, so let's go back a bit. Roam starts off good. The wave's all the way back here. You're not going to lose anything for it. You come down. I actually think here you should probably go back mid. So just because like your bot lane is trying to freeze this wave rather than crashing it, like okay, I think your bot lane, this is probably your bot lane's fault, honestly. Like they should probably have pushed this and dived with Kai'Sa Pantheon, but like okay, if they don't, just like the longer you stay here, the worse this becomes. Because if Kayle is smart, Kayle pushes this cannon wave and takes mid tower. So it's like, even if you get a kill here now, like, okay, even if you kill the Soraka and get out, you probably lose, like, more for it than you would have gained. If you can kill Jinx, maybe there's an argument, but, like, you know, just killing the enemy support doesn't really matter compared to killing the enemy AD. And, like, Kayle fucked up. I actually have no idea what Kale's doing. This is, like, a free mid tower. And then, yeah, you guys kind of overcommit. And I think also it's, like, kind of comes back to that impatience thing. Like, if you look right now, Jinx is actually probably dead. Like, if you really did want to hard commit to this, like, if you saw that Kayle wasn't pushing this wave at all, and you were like, okay, you know, you can just keep Jinx here. Like, you can just play in this area and not let Jinx leave. But it's like, the moment you speed up this play, you make it so, like, your bot lane can't get here, and Jinx can actually do something now. And then you both die, right? So it's... Oh, he didn't die. Just you died.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So after I see that they bot lane don't push up, should just left.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to kind of realize that. Like, I feel like it is higher level, but I think, like, just, like, as a roam kind of thing in general, if you... The good things about this roam are that, like, okay, the wave has been pushed in, right? But if you look at the enemy bot wave, like, they're not really diveable, and they're both full HP. And, like, the only CC is from Pantheon. You know, like, Lucian is not really a strong roaming champ. He just, like, brings a shit ton of damage, but... It's not like, you know, if you're a Kiana and you run down here and you ult both these people, like, yeah, you know, you probably kill them. But Lucian's just not really that sort of champ. So I think, yeah, maybe the roam just isn't even that good. Like at this point, it doesn't look that great.
Should have went Raptors instead.
Yeah, or like, you know,
Or our
drop a
Raptors,
ward,
maybe.
or yeah, your Raptors, or even just like hit the tower. There's, yeah. If your bot wave is different, it could probably be different.
So it was a Kiana one trick for a while.
Oh, really?
But he was one like first level 7 champ.
Oh, really? Okay.
Played her for ages, and I switched to Lucian because she's just too hard. So I used to always perma roam with Kiana.
Yeah, well, to be honest, there's not that much else Kiana can do if you're playing her mid. Not exactly a laning champ. Okay. Gonna 8 times this. Then we'll see some team fights. Looks like sort of the same troll situation. So okay, we push mid, which is good. Okay, actually right now it looks good. Your bot lane can crash this wave. And Pantheon can dive. Okay, everything's looking good. Jinx should die. The problem is Kai'Sa didn't contest this wave enough. Okay, yeah, so Kai'Sa just... And to be honest, Pantheon shouldn't walk around either, I don't... Well, if she knows Kai'Sa can get it, but... Yeah, okay, no, I actually think you made the right decision. It's just sort of unfortunate. I guess you could have gone on this guy a bit earlier. Diving, that is.
E to go on.
Yeah. Yeah, now this sucks. Like, sharing this wave. Honestly, by this point, I think you actually just base and go mid, or you just walk mid. Like, come honey for mid or whatever. But like now again...
I do that a lot. Now that I'm here, I want to stay and make something happen instead of being useless, which I should just... I do that a lot too.
Holy shit, it's actually a miracle you got away with that. Okay, on Krugs, top waves. Yeah, I think this was like, again, you're kind of just like, not really, I feel like, understanding, well, I don't know, like right here. You don't have any sums and you don't have ult.
Like, I just see low health and I'm like, yep.
Yeah, like, I don't know, looking at this, it actually looks good. Like, if you have Gale Force, like, this guy instantly dies. So that's, like, a big thing, right? But you can't quite close the distance, and then you also... Yeah, like, there's not... Like, given what you have, there's just not really any way to play this better, but it just, like, looks really weird that you end up in this situation. But I guess it's because, like, you ulted... Yeah, the ult was wasted, I guess. Oh, wait. Oh, well, she would have died anyway. I actually think maybe here you should have kept pushing. Oh, well, Scion's keeping pushing, so you can't. No, I guess you're right to come here, and then... But you probably just
tried to jump on that Jinx.
Yeah, no, it is hard. It looks really, like, free. Because you should be able to one-shot that guy, but you can't quite close the distance. Anyway. Yeah, you get, like, Silenced and Charmed. Rough. Yeah, let's just skip through the team fights.
Oh, this one. This one's rough.
I think again you could play on your range a little more. Like, I don't think you need to let Kayn ult you. Like, if you just WR and then like E here so that he's not in range of you. Like, I think the problem is here you're like culling almost in melee range, so it's like really easy for him to kind of like make the play, right? But you had E that whole time. You can just like play a little bit more in your range. And then also it's like, hold on, could we have killed this
Really,
guy?
I only got that much damage on because he fucked up his Q. Like, I
Yeah.
should have been dead way earlier. Like, right
True.
there.
Okay, and then after this, it's like you.
She went for the Soraka. I need to get my double Q.
Holy fuck, that heal is actually giant, even though you have Grievous on him. That's just crazy.
You actually went for Rock there, right?
Yeah, probably, but I don't know. It's just like the
shouldn't
same
have
sort of
been
thing where like the fight, this isn't really how you want the fight to go, you know? Like, Lucian can flank, but it's like he's just, you know, it's like you flank people that are on low HP. You don't just like flank a team that's on full HP because like, you know, you don't really have the tools to instantly kill people. So it's like, do you really want to be in this situation where it's like you're completely separate from everyone on your team and like you're just coming into the fight like this when everyone's on full HP? It just looks super shit to me. I think here it's like you're already getting a lot bot. Like Sion got the tower. Like he's pushing the wave all the way in. And like all you guys need to do is hold the tower and you're actually winning off this. But I think, yeah, I don't know. It's just like every time I see a fight start from you, like sometimes flanking on Lucian is good, but just every time I'm seeing a fight start, it's like either you start it too early or you start it from like a really bad position like this one. And it's like, okay, you could play it better, but you just made it like really fucked for yourself, you know? Like, okay, even if you kill this Kayn, like, is it that good? I feel like you kill Kayn and just everything goes back to normal, almost. I guess, like, yeah, I don't know. If you get a kill, it's nice, but it's not gonna win the fight, really, because you're gonna lose, so, you know, you have to invest everything to kill him. It's not free by any means.
Well, even then, Kayn left and did his jungle, and they still got that tower.
Yeah, yeah, true. But I don't think you can fight that guy.
If I killed Kayn, it wouldn't have really done anything.
Any more team fights? Move on here. I think this is again like looking at your teammates' positions. Like if you just look right now, you're like contesting a wave when your jungler's basing, your Kai'Sa's like under her tower and Sion's in base. So you're playing like all the boys are right here, you know? But there's just no one here. So if they actually call you out on your buff, and to be honest, I think they're just gonna kill you anyway because it's, you know, silver, right? They're just gonna see a target and try and kill it. But yeah, it's like a really greedy time to try
Go far up.
contest that. Now, what happened here? Because, yeah, I don't think this was really your fault. Like, you're pushing the wave. Problem is they get a pick. Oh, I guess he lives, though. Yeah, no, your team kind of just died before you got there. I don't think there's much you can really do other than try not to die after, but I don't think you can really stop Baron.
As soon as I see him die, I should just leave, right? Like,
Yeah, you probably just, like, try push mid or something and just, like, trade a lot. It's a pretty cringe situation.
the Sion was doing well. I should have like, played around him or something.
That's good.
I don't know.
I actually think, let's have a look at this. They've killed Kale. Yeah, this is annoying because it's like, I think you're right to push this wave, but then your team just like ran in and died. I think maybe right now, you probably need to find a way to group with them again. Like I think maybe rather than going for the flank here, you E over the wall and try get towards Kai'Sa.
Oh, with them, yeah.
Yeah, cause well, maybe you can't do it, I don't know, maybe you guys are just, you're not even far behind, but like, I guess just you've been outscaled a bit, you know, like I think Jinx way outscales Kai'Sa. Like obviously they've got like Kale and stuff. Because like you don't seem that behind, but Kane's just like too strong for you to really play the game. So I think we're just gonna write up some stuff because that looks like mega cooked already. So game 2, early game. What even happened in the early game? Let me go back.
I got hit by that charm.
Yeah, I remember that. Is there anything else? Okay, well the warding is a thing again. So like 230 ward is ideal. That didn't end up being a problem. Oh yeah, the wave control again. Oops, what did I just do? Wave control, like the first 3 waves in particular, I think is the biggest problem. It can be a lot better, and you can probably deny quite a bit more out of it. But like this was all good, the base was good. Then yeah, I mean, I guess to be honest, this did end up actually being a problem. So like if you E into him like while his cooldowns, you know, are still not up, you can go for it, but like you wait long enough that his Q is almost back up, and then he's able to just like get the Q on you, because it makes a big difference if he has the Q. So
Yeah.
I think the like being like cooldown punishment is really important. Like you need to be really aware of like what cooldowns the enemy has / doesn't have up, and like part of it is like matchup knowledge, you know, like if you know that Ari doesn't have Q in this matchup, you can really like look to trade even if she has charm. But that's just like that's I guess like part of what knowing matchups is, you know. You just like
Yeah.
knowing when you can trade and like when you can't. And then also I think you didn't really adapt. But that's yeah, this is like you don't adapt after making the mistake. Oh my god, why do I keep doing that? So it's like alright, like playing accordingly, like yeah, I don't know, it's just like half HP, just base. Like don't die for it, because like you're already really far ahead. You can just like give up a couple creeps and then come back and just shit on them for the rest of the game, most likely. Oh yeah, the pinks. This again goes with the wards. I think in general, like deeper vision, like pinks in better spots. It'll like create a lot of like invisible differences to your game. You know, like it's really hard to tell what kind of like you know, sometimes you place a ward and it's like that information might help people on your team and you won't have any idea that it helped them, you know? Like placing
Yeah.
your wards in good spots, it creates like a pretty big impact on the game. It's just like it's invisible, right? Like you can't really see the impact clearly. But
Yeah.
I
So it
promise it
makes
does
CS
make a
better
big
and
difference.
stay
Yeah.
golden. Yeah.
And then yeah, that was sort of rough, but we came back. Like you were in a good spot after all this. Yeah, like right here you were in a good spot.
He's just wave control in general is just bad.
Oh yeah. The roams, you should think a lot about like identifying good roams. So like the things you should consider are like wave states, HP, CC, like jungler positions, etc. But like the biggest things here were just like the wave was fucked and like everyone was full HP, and like between you and Viego you don't really have any CC that you can reasonably hit. Like it's only if your balling can crash. And I think at this point it's like, you know, your team is winning, but to be honest, you're quite useless now, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
if you're 1-3 on Lucian, all you bring is damage, and you just don't bring enough, pretty much. And then, okay, for the team fights again, there was like, okay, there was a little bit of mid-game, again, like, over-pushing without considering, like, where your teammates are. Just on that mid-wave once, but like the team fighting again is just like you need to think about how your ideal team fight starts. So generally Lucian prefers just like a front to back team fight because he's like a DPS champ, but you can look for flanks if people are really low. But just like try, I don't know, like play with team more, like don't be so impatient. Just like you should be really aware, I guess, that a lot of team fights are won or lost before they start, you know, based around like positioning and like location on the map and like the vision of the area, like what cooldowns people have. So you should like think like, okay, think what my ideal team fight looks like, which is like pretty much just like front to back most of the time. And then just like think about like what their threats are. So this game, it's pretty much just like Ari, Charm, and Kane. And then you just need to like play around that. Because I think if you're with like all four of your teammates, you're thinking about, okay, if Ari uses Charm, I'm just going to E it. And then the only other person you need to worry about is Kane. I think you'll just see the team fight be a lot better for you on average. But it's just like right now, you know, so many of the team fights are either lost before they begin because like you're in a scuff position.
Yeah.
Or you're just like, yeah, I don't know. Or they're just not really team fights you want to look for in the first place. So I guess that's actually the same thing. It's like a lot of the team fights, this game and last game, are lost before they start. So to work on things that are really big, I think warding, like using your prior to get more valuable wards / pink wards should be pretty good. I think like wave control, like first 3 waves especially, like sometimes freezing more, like those are the biggest things there. I think your CD punishment as well could probably improve. Like no key cooldowns for the matchup. Hugging is definitely a big thing, like to safety slash vision. That'll make sure you don't die so much. Um, what else? What else? Yeah, I mean, the good roams thing only came up once, and it's like, you're not going to roam that much on Lucian anyway, so it's probably not like a
Yeah, I
big
don't
thing to work
usually
on.
roam.
I think the mid game, it's like getting more gold slash XP by not sharing, like, being at drag 1 min before. Yeah, I think those are probably the biggest things for mid game, and then it's like team fights, starting team fights from a better position, so like with the team, like being patient, identifying like key threats slash cooldowns. So I think that these are like the biggest things to work on, and to be honest, they are like pretty big things, right? Like it's
Yeah.
gonna take you a while to work on them, but I think okay, well actually I should write as well like how you work on them. So I think the warding, it's like just like place your wards a bit more consciously, I guess. Like don't just autopilot your wards. I'll just like yeah, don't autopilot wards. The wave control thing, like I think you can either watch like Lucian VODs and just like
I have seen yours.
okay, yeah.
Your wave control thing. I just don't do it.
Yeah, well, it's hard to
But
think. There's like a lot of shit to think about.
yeah.
It's pretty hard. But yeah, I think if like you watch some Lucian VODs and pay like real close attention to the first few waves, you probably get better at that. Cooldown punishment. There's like a couple ways to learn this. It's like either you can just like learn the matchups by feel, or you can like, one thing I do is like after I play a matchup, I normally look it up on YouTube. So like I would play this and I'd go like Lucian versus Ari, and then I'd just like pay attention to like when the Lucian trades and stuff. So this is up to you. It's like VODs slash feeling. It does come a bit naturally, so I think you don't need to go too hard on it. Hugging to safety and vision. This is quite a hard one to work on. The way I do this is like I have a habit that like whenever the next wave comes, so like I'll be like laning like normal, right? And then whenever these next waves come, like just any wave, like literally every 30 seconds I think about this, I just quickly take like one look at the map and I go like, okay, where is my safety slash where is my vision? So for me, it's like I use the minions coming as a trigger to think about it, because I think like even for lower elo players, it's pretty obvious to you, like in like freeze frames, right? Like when you just like have no vision around mid and you're like playing super far up and stuff. Like I think even lower elo players can see that it's a problem. It's just like actually recognizing it in game. And I think the
Yeah.
easiest way is to just like if you can make it trigger, so like either the minions coming or maybe like every time you push a wave you think about it, or literally just like maybe you set a metronome for like every 30 seconds and think about like I don't know, whatever you need, just like a way to think about it. The mid game getting more golden XP by not sharing and being a dragon a minute before. I think these ones you'll just like get better at now that you know it's like a thing. Like now that you're aware of it, you'll probably just naturally do it. And the team fights is a bit harder to work on. I think just like you should maybe, if you lose a team fight really hard, like obviously look at how you play the team fight better, but also look at like the 30 seconds before the team fight and just like, did we start this team fight in a good position, or was it kind of like already fucked before it began? So I think
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions about anything?
No, that's all good. That all makes sense.
All right, well, I'll just copy it
All
to
good.
you on Discord. And yeah, I'll upload this later and link it to you. Do you mind it being public, or you do mind, or what?
No, that's fine. That can be public. That's
All
all
right,
good.
cool. Well, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you have questions like later on, obviously you can just message me, whenever. I don't really have a life, right? So you can just message me whenever. But yeah, cool, man. Hopefully it was helpful.
Yeah, it
Um,
was cool. Thank you.
all right. Well, nice to meet you, obviously, and good luck on the climb.
Cool. Thank you. All
All
right.
right, see you
See
later,
ya.
man. Good luck.
Bye.
Bye bye.